Let's get more on this from Manila. We can speak to the academic and author Richard Heydarian. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Pleasure, as always.
So all elections like this, of course, are important, but this one feels particularly significant.
Yeah, right. I mean, sorry, I just came from the final hurrah rallies of both camps. So it was really an exhausting and long day. I think both camps, the opposition camp by Leonel Robredo has tried to put a strong show of force. The other camp also tried to put on a strong show of force, but it was really a tale of two very different camps. Much more, I would say, mass-based camp as far as the Bongbong Marcos Sara Duterte grand rally was concerned, while it was much more of a middle class and upper class, while as far as the Leonel Robredo is concerned. Now, I have described this election as the most consequential in the past 5 centuries. I think, 5 decades, at least since 1969. The last time Marcos was on a ballot in 1969, he won that re-election, and then for the next decades, he established an authoritarian regime. And since then, we have been living in the shadow of the Marcoses. And guess what? 2022, Marcos Jr. right now is on the ballot. Now, of course, over the past 6 years, President Duterte, a strongman, a populist, undermined the foundations of the Philippine democracy. But the problem was that he never had the kind of a discipline and vision to really create a new order. So the old order, meaning the democratic regime that replaced Marcos' dictatorship, is dying, is perishing, but a new order is yet to be born. And in its stead, whoever becomes the next president will be in a very strong position to push for constitutional change and create a totally new era together. And of course, based on the surveys, it looks like another Marcos.
Sorry to just jump in there. That is really interesting, this thought of a new era. But for people watching from the rest of the world who will remember that dictatorship, might find it surprising that that name and that family dynasty could potentially be back in power.
Right. The enemy here is nostalgia. So there are a lot of people who actually, some of them even participated in the 1986 People Power that toppled the Marcos dictatorship. But now suddenly they're romanticizing the past. This is what you call authoritarian nostalgia. So they're frustrated with these dysfunctions of democracy in the Philippines. Just to give you some numbers, up to 80% of the Philippine Congress and legislature is occupied by political dynasties.